So our next caller, we have, I believe it's Hallie from Montana. Hallie, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
You are, thank you.
Great. How are you today?
I'm doing okay, thank you. I'm here with my 3-year-old, so if there's an interruption, I apologize.
Okay. What part of Montana are you in, Hallie?
Bozeman, Montana.
Okay, I know Bozeman. So thank you for calling. How can we help you today?
Well, I'm just feeling like I'm in this very in-between place and don't really know what to do at the moment. My husband started an emotional affair probably just under a year ago now. I found out about it in April. She was gone for the summer. Things seemed to sort of fizzle out there. She came back to town. Long story short, it seems to be slowing down quite a lot. Every once in a while, she'll give him this little shred of hope, and he'll hang on to that, and he'll pull back from me again. But that seems to have slowed down quite a lot. So essentially right now, he has filed for divorce. I have responded, contested it, and that is still in progress at this point. However, things at home have gotten quite a bit better. We interact on a daily basis. He still lives here in the guest room. We've been physically intimate since like June. So, and at first that was not nearly as intimate as it has been more recently. But he seems to still be really set on this path toward not wanting to be married anymore. And we've connected physically, we've connected intellectually, but he will not open up to me emotionally at all. I've tried small leading questions like, how was your day, or how are things going? He'll talk about work, we'll talk about the kiddo, we'll talk about household stuff, finances, but he will not open up to anything about how he's feeling or how he's doing or anything. I've kept pretty tight, smart contact because I used to be a pretty bad pusher. I used to force conversations, arguments used to get crazy. I used to be overly emotional, and I've done a lot of work on myself, and I just don't know what to do now.
Okay. Now, the fact that you say the intimacy has become actually to some degree intimacy, that means some kind of emotional connection during the lovemaking periods?
I think so. The last couple of nights have been a little bit odd and not so much, but off and on over the past several, I'd say 2 to 3 months, it has gotten significantly more so. He'll initiate cuddling afterwards. He doesn't seem to just want me to leave right away, things like that.
And who initiates the lovemaking, him or you?
That was an area in our relationship that was lacking before, too.
But
so,
who
sorry, what was your question?
Who initiates the lovemaking, him or you?
Both of us. The last 2 nights it was him.
Okay, that's good.
So that was good.
and so in the last 2 nights, so how often are you making love?
A few nights a week.
Okay, so that's quite a bit.
I'll wander down to his room down the hall, and sometimes he doesn't seem to want to. Other nights he's very into it, and then nights like the last 2, he actually comes looking for me.
Okay, that's actually a good sign. All of those are good signs. Now let me just talk to a thing or two, if I may, Hallie. The fact that he's not opening up to you emotionally is not necessarily unexpected at this point. Okay, the fact that she occasionally gives him a little bit of hope, that kind of thing. Are you there? Okay, all right. The fact that she occasionally gives him a little hope.
My 3-year-old is...
Okay, that's fine. I understand 3-year-olds. I really do. And Kimberly is adopting 2 children, so we're about to find out a lot more about little kids with her. All right, so here's what it boils down to. The fact that she's still giving him a little bit of hope, and the fact that he's the one clinging to that, tells me that what I'm about to describe is probably the situation. Now understand, when I say probably the situation, obviously I don't know your husband. I'm not God. I don't know everything. But I'm going to give you, based on what you're describing, what it sounds like to me. She probably was the one that went in fastest, because the one that goes in the faster of the 2 is typically the first one that comes out, which means he probably went in slower into this emotional thing with her. The one that goes in slower is also the one that comes out slower, okay? And so the one that goes in the fastest comes out the fastest. The one that goes in the slowest comes out the slowest. The fact that she still occasionally offers him some little bit of hope can indicate a ton of different things. For example, one possibility is she just likes having some kind of control over him emotionally, and she's using it. That's one possibility. Another is that even though she's going out, she occasionally has flashes of this emotion coming back. And so when those flashes come back to her, she contacts him, which is just dragging it out for him. What she's doing is certainly not fair to him. The fact that he's not being open emotionally to you is probably an indication that he hasn't given up all hope about what could happen over there. But the fact that you're intellectually interacting with each other, the fact that he is making love with you, and as you say, it's becoming more intimate when you make love to each other, means that he's headed back toward you. So somewhere down deep inside of him, in all likelihood, there's a part that knows that's not going to happen with this other woman, and that he really wants what he has with you. But there's another big emotional part of him that's clinging onto that thing. Now, understand that a lot of that has to do with brain chemistry. When a person goes into this situation, the chemicals in the brain get all screwed up. But everything you're describing tells me, and again, I could be wrong, but I'm giving my opinion. Everything you're describing tells me he's headed back toward you, and that the things you are doing are not only very strong, they're actually very wise. So will he at some point start becoming more emotionally open to you? I predict that that's going to happen. Will it happen tomorrow? I don't think so. Will it happen next week? Maybe next month. But at some point, he's moving back toward you. And the fact that she gives him a little hope and then disappears again or pulls away again tells me that she's pretty well on the way out of this thing. And so if you can tolerate this, if you can just hang in there and keep doing what you're doing, my prediction is this thing will slowly evolve back into a really good marriage between the two of you. It's not going to happen instantly. It's going to be an evolution. But unless something happens that upsets this path that you're on right now, you're headed in a good direction if you can maintain what you're doing while he goes through this vacillation. Can you?
Yeah, I mean, I have for months already, so I feel like I'm in this place where I have no desire to give up
Good.
at this point. So yeah,
Good.
the thing that I think keeps making it even harder for me is the fact that the divorce process is there. We have a court timeline at this point. We are set for mediation potentially by the end of this month.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, I would love to see him put a stop or pause on all of that, but I don't know how to handle that in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
My son thinks he's hilarious right now.
Well, most of the time I think I'm hilarious too, so I relate. Maybe that's what I am. I'm a 3-year-old at heart. Here's the deal, Hallie. First of all, if your attorney can slow it down without being too mean to your husband, that's probably a good idea if your attorney can do that. Secondly, even if the court goes through, even if that thing goes through, it does not necessarily mean that it's over. We deal with a lot of couples that the divorce actually finally takes place, but they still put it back together. They wind up remarrying each other. Things work well. So while the divorce is not a good thing, I'm not saying it is, and I'm saying, yes, I would be concerned if I were in your shoes as well. Don't think that divorce means that's all over. You understand? If that were to happen, which I hope and pray it doesn't, but if that were to happen, this thing can still keep going in the right direction. It still can work itself out. So try not to panic over the divorce thing if you can. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's the hardest part for me is like dealing with the fact that he still thinks that he wants to do that and that's still the path that he's on. But then I do remind myself that doesn't necessarily mean it's over.
That's right.
It's just really hard
to
reconcile those things in my brain, I guess.
I know. Did you say like David said? Did I hear that? You said like
no,
somebody
I'm not
said.
sure what.
Okay. All right. I just thought you might be
I
dealing.
think I just said, like I said,
Oh,
I don't,
okay.
it's hard for me to reconcile those things in my brain,
Gotcha.
but
Gotcha.
I also know that even if that goes through, it's not necessarily over, but
The reason
I just don't like that
the
he's
reason I
still on
ask
that
about
path.
right. The reason I ask about David is one of our coaches, and I thought maybe you meant you were talking to one of our coaches. That's why I was asking about that. Okay.
Gotcha. No.
All right.
No.
So, are you in our online course, or are you working with any of our coaches, or anything like that?
I've been in touch with Amber Nickel because
Good.
I am doing the online
Good.
course.
Good.
So that has been very helpful,
Good.
of course. But it's just such a interesting situation to be in right now in this
Right.
crazy limbo where our 3-year-old is completely like oblivious to the fact. He just knows that room down the hallway is Dada's and this other one is
Right.
Mama's,
Right.
and that's it.
Your 3-year-old's
So,
doing well because of the
yeah.
fact that your husband's still in the house, and well,
Yeah.
you're doing the right things. You stay in touch with Amber, and if you need anything, you let her know, and she can help you get to the right resources. She's extremely good at what she does. But you're doing the right thing, and
Yes.
I suggest you stay on the same course, my friend. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much for your help.
All right. Thank you, Hallie.